Hello and welcome to another episode of our Private Equity Market podcast series. Today's topic is undoubtedly one of the most interesting and exciting ones. We will talk about the most successful private equity deals of all time. What comes to your mind when you hear about private equity? High-risk investments, significant returns, and exceptional deal-making skills. The world of private equity is a constantly changing one, with new entrants popping up and established players making their mark. As specialists, we are always eager to learn about the most successful deals in the market, where investors have generated returns beyond their wildest dreams. Such deals are rare, but when they do happen, they create a buzz across the industry. In this podcast, we will take a closer look at some of these elusive deals and share our insights on why they were successful. Before we dive deep into the details, let me give you a quick overview of what we'll be discussing. We'll briefly talk about the meaning of private equity, the factors that drive successful deals, and then we'll get down to the juicy bit, the most successful deals in private equity history. So, what is private equity? In simple terms, it is a type of investment that generally involves buying and selling companies or their assets. Private equity firms raise funds from wealthy investors and institutional investors like pension funds, insurance companies, and endowments. They then use these funds to buy companies, either outright or by acquiring a significant portion of a company's shares. The goal of private equity firms is to make a profit by improving the company's operations and management, thus increasing its overall value. This is where the deal-making skills of private equity firms come into play. Private equity firms evaluate the target company's financials, its management team, its industry position, and other factors to determine whether it is a worthy investment. Now, let's move on to the most exciting part of today's podcast. What are the most successful private equity deals of all time? The first on our list is the Blackstone Group's acquisition of equity office properties in 2007. This deal was worth a whopping $39 billion and was the largest private equity deal at that time. Blackstone beat out rival bidders Vornado Realty Trust and Macklowe Properties in the hotly contested auction. The acquisition paid off for Blackstone, with the firm making a $20 billion profit when it sold the properties in 2019. Another notable deal is Apollo Management's acquisition of Realogy Holdings Corp. For $9.7 billion in 2006. Realogy is a real estate brokerage and franchising company, whose brands include Sotheby's International Realty and Coldwell Banker. Apollo acquired the company at a time when the real estate market was booming. This provided Apollo with an excellent opportunity to make a profit by taking the company public. The deal paid off for Apollo, with the firm making a $3.7 billion profit from the IPO. The third successful deal on our list is TPG's acquisition of MEMC Electronic Materials in 2006. TPG acquired the semiconductor company for $1.6 billion and improved its financials significantly by restructuring its operations. The company's solar business, which TPG established, was the key driver of its growth. MEMC went public in 2008 and generated more than $1 billion in revenue in 2010. The last deal on our list is perhaps the most famous one. It is the acquisition of RJR Nabisco by Kohlberg Kravis Robertson Company in 1989 for $25 billion. The deal was chronicled in the book, Barbarians at the Gate, which tells the story of the competition between KKR and rival bidder Ross Johnson, who was the CEO of RJR Nabisco at the time. KKR ultimately won the bidding war and improved the company's operations, leading to a massive payout for its investors. In conclusion, private equity deals are not for the faint-hearted. They require exceptional deal-making skills, a deep understanding of the market, and the ability to identify undervalued assets. The most successful deals in private equity history are those where investors have taken risks, invested wisely, and benefited from the long-term growth of the companies they acquired. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we look forward to bringing you more informative content in the future.